Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. This time, we're going to be tackling something that affects every single one of us:
Oh,
learning. We're going to be going deep on effective learning techniques.
I like you.
And,
You dive into learning.
yeah, figuring out how to stop wasting time and actually learn things effectively
Right.
based on the text we've been given.
Absolutely.
So, we were talking a little bit beforehand, and one of the things that I found so interesting is that a lot of the things that we think of as kind of traditional learning methods, the text actually says are not effective.
Yeah, some of those traditional methods, they kind of, well, they're not really in sync with how our brains actually learn.
Yeah, and it's interesting because
Yeah.
I feel like I, and probably a lot of other people, we've all been doing those ineffective methods for so long.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, the text is pretty blunt,
Yeah.
just straight up says
Uh-huh.
passive reading and cramming. It just doesn't work.
Nope.
And I know.
It's like, why did nobody tell us this before?
Right. I'm totally guilty of this. Like, I used to think that if I highlighted an entire chapter,
The whole thing.
that meant I was learning it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, surprise, surprise,
Gone.
it's gone.
It's like it never even happened.
Yeah, the information just disappears.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just, like, not good at remembering things.
Right.
But, I mean, the text basically says that these methods, they just overload our brains, and that leads to this thing called shallow learning.
Yeah, shallow learning. It's kind of like, you can memorize a recipe without actually understanding the techniques.
Uh-huh.
You might bake a cake, but,
Right.
you're not going to be winning any baking competition.
No, you're not going to be on the Great British Baking Show.
Exactly.
So how do we move beyond this shallow learning? Like, how do we actually make information stick?
Well, that's where it gets really exciting.
Okay.
The text talks about these techniques.
Yeah.
Spaced repetition, active recall,
Yeah.
interleaving.
Okay, those sound kind of complicated.
They sound a little intimidating, I know.
Yeah.
But they leverage the way our brains naturally learn.
Okay, so
Yeah.
spaced repetition, is that like where you set a timer for your brain to remember things?
That's an interesting way to put it. Not exactly a timer.
Okay.
It's more about working with
Good.
this concept called the forgetting curve.
Uh-huh.
So our brains naturally forget things over time.
Right.
But if you revisit information at specific intervals,
Okay.
you can kind of interrupt that forgetting.
Interesting.
So it's like, imagine strengthening a muscle,
Okay.
consistent workouts over time.
Yeah.
Get better results than just one crazy workout.
So instead of cramming everything in the
Thankfully.
night before a test,
Yes.
you're better off spreading it out
Yes,
over days or weeks.
exactly. And there's a neurological basis for this too.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we try to remember something, it reinforces those pathways.
No.
So spaced repetition helps solidify those pathways.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like paving a road.
Okay. I like
The
that.
more you drive over it,
Mm-hmm.
the smoother it becomes.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
spaced repetition. Got it.
Got it.
What about active recall?
Active recall.
I've heard that's really powerful.
It is. It is. It might sound a bit mysterious,
Oh.
but it's actually very simple.
Okay.
It's basically just trying to remember information rather than just passively looking at it.
Okay.
So let's say you're reading a textbook chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just reading and rereading,
Yeah.
close the book and try to, summarize it.
Oh, so it's like giving yourself a pop quiz.
Exactly, like a little mini quiz.
Okay.
And this actually triggers something called the testing effect.
Interesting.
They've done research, and it actually shows that even if you don't get everything right on those quizzes, it really helps you remember in the long run.
Wow, so it's not about being perfect.
No, not at all.
It's just about
It's about
you
engaging.
can remember it.
Yes, making your brain work for it.
Okay, and then the last one is interleaving.
Interleaving.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, interleaving is fascinating.
What is that?
So think of it like cross-training for your brain.
Okay.
You're mixing up different subjects
Okay.
during your study sessions. So let's say you're learning Spanish.
Okay.
Instead of just doing vocabulary for an hour,
Yeah.
you might do vocabulary
Mhm.
and grammar, then some listening,
So mix it all up.
mix it up. Keep your brain guessing.
Okay.
So it forces those connections between different concepts,
Interesting.
like a mental agility workout.
Okay, so we've got these three techniques: spaced repetition, active recall, and interleaving.
Powerful stuff.
They all seem to kind of play off of how our brains actually learn.
They do. They do.
The text also mentions a couple of others:
Oh, yeah.
retrieval practice and the Feynman technique.
Oh, those are great.
Can you tell me about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So retrieval practice is basically just what it sounds like. Actively trying to pull information out of your memory. Think of it like testing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Flashcards are a classic example, but you could also do quizzes, use self-testing apps, or even just try summarizing concepts from memory.
Oh, yeah. I love flashcards.
Yeah, they're great. And then there's the Feynman technique, which is a really neat way to test your understanding of something.
Okay.
It's named after Richard Feynman, the physicist,
Oh, yeah.
who was known for explaining really complex stuff in a simple way.
I see.
Basically, you pretend you're teaching the material to someone else like you're explaining it to a kid.
Oh, interesting.
It forces you to break things down and see if there are any gaps in your knowledge.
It's like playing teacher for the day.
Exactly.
I love it.
And you learn so much by doing it.
Yeah, it's not enough to just read it.
No.
You have to actually do something with it.
You got to engage with it. Challenge yourself.
So, okay, we've gotten rid of those bad study habits. Out with the old. And we're embracing this active learning.
Yes.
But how do we actually put all this into practice?
Yeah.
Like, how do we avoid wasting time
That's the million-dollar question.
and make these techniques actually work for us?
Yeah, we've got the tools.
Yeah.
Now, how do we use them?
How do we build something awesome?
Exactly.
That's what I'm really curious about.
That too. That is the question, isn't it?
It is.
Like, it's one thing to know all this cool brain stuff,
Right.
but actually doing it,
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
That's where the rubber meets the road. Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so our source material, it actually gives us a kind of a roadmap, right?
It does here.
For avoiding those like time-wasting traps.
It did fall.
Yeah, the pitfalls of learning.
Yes.
Okay, so where do we even begin?
Well, might sound surprising,
Okay.
but it all starts with setting really clear goals.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just about like opening a textbook
Nope.
and hoping for the best.
Not just hoping something will magically stick in there.
Okay, so you got to have a
You
direction.
need a destination, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, you just get lost.
Right. Lost in a sea of information.
Exactly. So once you have a goal,
Yeah.
you can break it down into like smaller steps,
Okay.
little milestones,
That makes sense.
and that helps you stay on track.
Keeps you motivated.
And motivated.
Yeah, it's like planning a road trip, right?
I like it.
You don't just start driving.
No, you got to know where you're going.
Right.
Have a map.
Okay, so clear goals. Check.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right. So now it's time for those techniques we were talking about.
Okay, the active recall, spaced repetition.
Yes, interleaving, all that good stuff.
All right, so we're putting them into action.
Exactly, because passive learning,
Yeah.
not going to cut it.
No more highlighting entire chapters.
Nope, got to get active.
Okay, gotta get active.
Engage with the material.
Okay. You know what? I have a confession.
Uh-oh, what's that?
I am the queen of multitasking.
Oh, no.
Is that a problem? Like, really?
It might feel like you're getting a lot done,
Right,
but our brains aren't really designed for multitasking.
really?
Yeah, when we try to do too many things at once,
Yeah.
we end up splitting our attention. And that actually makes us worse at everything.
Ouch. Okay.
So focus is key.
So one thing at a time.
One thing with all your attention.
Full attention, yes.
Got it. Okay.
So focus.
Okay.
And then, as you're going,
Yeah.
you got to keep track of how you're doing.
Okay, so monitor your progress.
Monitor your progress, exactly.
So, like, am I actually remembering things?
Are the techniques working?
Are the techniques working for me?
Yeah, because what works for one person
Right.
might not work for another.
Totally.
So you got to find what works for you,
Right. So be flexible.
be flexible,
Okay.
adjust as you go.
All right. Speaking of things that don't work,
Yes.
how do we deal with distractions?
Ah, yes, distractions.
My phone, I swear, it knows.
It has a sixth sense. When I'm trying to focus,
That's like, ding.
look at me, right?
Distractions are productivity killers.
They are.
So you got to create a space that's free of them.
Okay, so like silence your phone,
Silence your phone, close all those tabs,
all the browser tabs.
all of those tabs.
Just like get rid of everything.
Create a little sanctuary.
A sanctuary for learning.
Yes.
It's amazing how much you can get done.
I know,
When
right?
you're not constantly interrupted.
It's like a breath of fresh air for your brain.
It really is.
Yeah. Our text really emphasizes that, creating that mental space
Yeah.
for focus.
Okay, so we've got clear goals, active learning, minimize distractions.
Minimize distractions.
It feels like we're building something good here, right?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Laying the foundation.
Laying the foundation.
But there's one more piece,
Okay, there's one more piece.
a crucial piece.
All right, what is it?
And it's all about, well,
Begin.
your mindset.
Ah, the power of positive thinking.
Well, it's a bit more than just positive thinking.
Okay.
It's about having what's called a growth mindset.
A growth mindset. Okay.
Yeah, and this basically means believing in your ability to learn and grow,
Okay.
even when things get tough.
So instead of saying, I'm terrible at math,
Right.
you say, I'm not good at math yet,
Exactly.
but I can get better.
Yes. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities,
Okay. I like that.
not roadblocks.
Challenges as opportunity.
Yes. It's all about the journey.
So it's not just about the outcome.
Yeah.
It's about the process.
The process, the growth,
Okay.
the learning.
That's powerful.
It is.
So we've got clear goals, active learning, minimize distractions, and now this growth mindset.
All coming together.
Yeah, we're cooking with gas
We're
now.
only cooking.
Right, we've got all the ingredients.
But dude,
But how do we actually make this work in our lives?
yes, the million-dollar question.
What does this actually look like?
How do we translate all this theory
Yeah.
into reality?
I'm ready for some examples.
Me too. Let's get practical.
All right, so we've really dug deep into this whole idea of effective learning.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah. We busted those learning myths.
Yeah.
We looked at, like, the science behind it.
The brain stuff?
The brain stuff, yeah, and even, like,
Yeah.
how our mindset plays a role.
Mindset's huge.
But now I want to get practical.
Okay, yeah.
Let's, like, actually figure out how to apply these techniques to our lives.
Real world stuff.
Yeah, real world stuff. So what's, like, one specific thing that people listening could try today?
Well, let's think about something that lots of people struggle with.
Okay.
Learning a new language.
Oh, yeah.
So many people hit a wall with that.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that.
Right. It feels like,
I've been trying to learn Spanish forever,
oh yeah, Spanish is tough.
and I just, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just not good at languages.
Well, see, that's where these techniques can really come in handy.
Okay, how so?
So instead of just, passively listening to language tapes
Right.
or flipping through vocab lists,
Yeah.
try using active recall.
Okay, so, like, instead
Yeah.
of just reading the Spanish word for cat,
Mm-hmm.
I should, like, close the book
Close it up.
and try to remember it.
Exactly. You could use flashcards, make quizzes for yourself,
Oh, right.
or even try having a conversation with someone,
Okay, yeah.
even if it's just basic stuff.
Right, right.
By actually pulling that word out of your brain,
Mm-hmm.
you're making those connections stronger.
It's like a workout.
It is. It's a brain workout.
Okay, so what about spaced repetition?
It's a spaced repetition, yeah.
Would I, like, review those vocab words every day?
Not necessarily every day. Let's say you learn some new words today.
Okay.
You review them tomorrow, then maybe a few days later, then a week later.
Okay.
It's about spacing it out
Spacing it out,
to
yeah.
match how your brain forgets things.
So it's like those little reminders.
Little nudges
Yeah, nudges for your brain.
to keep those words from disappearing.
I like that.
And of course, don't forget interleaving.
Oh, right, interleaving.
Mix it up.
Okay.
Don't just do vocabulary.
Yeah.
Do some grammar, some listening, maybe even try reading or writing a little bit in Spanish.
Okay, so it's all about
Variety. Keeping your brain engaged.
Yeah, so it's not just about one technique, it's about
It's about the whole system.
the whole system.
Putting it all together.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting that.
And remember, mindset is key here.
Right, that growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Believe you can do it,
Believe you can do it.
even when it's hard.
Because it will be hard. It's a challenge.
Right.
But that's part of the process.
That's how you grow.
That's how you learn.
This has been so eye-opening.
I know, right?
We've gone from, like,
Myth busting
yeah, busting those myths
to brain science.
to, like, the power of our own minds.
Amazing what we're capable of.
Yeah, it really is.
And the best part is, this is just the beginning.
What do you mean?
This learning journey,
Right.
it never ends.
There's always something new.
Always something new to learn, a new skill to master.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
So for everyone listening out there,
Yeah.
we challenge you.
Challenge accepted.
Think about one area of your life where you could apply all this stuff
Right.
right now.
Could be anything.
Right. Learning a new language, playing an instrument.
Learning to code.
Yeah, anything.
The possibilities are endless.
You really are.
And remember, knowledge is power,
It is.
but only if you use it.
So go out there.
Go learn. Grow.
Embrace the joy of learning.
Yes. Never stop.
And until next time,
Happy learning.
happy learning, everybody.